he kind of just did my introduction for me, so I guess I'll just get right into it. Literally, actually, that is exactly what I wanted to use for my introduction. So starting from when I was in kindergarten, my family and I always had this deal, is that if I was really good, if I behaved well, I was allowed to stay up late and watch Chinese dramas with my grandmother. And this is huge because the drama broadcasts at 9 p.m. And this means I got to stay up late past my brother. I got to spend time with my grandmother alone. And if I wasn't good, I would have to go to sleep early. I would have to wait until I got home from school, after lunch, after my nap, and then watch whatever my grandmother had recorded. And that was just not an acceptable alternative for me. So I was always, really anticipating that moment at dinner when my dad would say, "Okay, you can watch." And yeah, the thing with Chinese dramas is there's always stories about far-off places, magic spells, princes in disguises. It's anything that a little girl can ask for. And it's all in Chinese. Yeah, crazy, right? So fast forward a few years, and my grandmother passes away. And I still continue to just love the drama, where in the past it was a reward, it was something for being good. Now this was a way to stay connected with her, to stay connected with the memory of her, and kind of cast out the demons that permeated the room, where I watched her slowly weaken from cancer, where I watched us move her into a hospital bed, where she had her last breath. And while watching these dramas, it was just such a good reminder of what that love and that warmth was of those evenings spent with her. And yeah, I just kept watching it, and a few years later, then a drama came out. It was 还珠格格. And it was exactly like up my alley. It had princesses, it had pretty costumes, it was set in the Forbidden City, there was fighting without too much blood. It was my thing, yo. And I loved it so much, I got my god sisters involved in it too. And they loved it as well. And one night, we were all at dinner together, all of the families, and we had the best Beijing duck I've ever had in my life. Like, I kid you not, you would not believe that you could get such a good Beijing duck in a random, slightly shady strip mall in the middle of downtown Houston. It was phenomenal. And like, us kids, we were just high on like the life, on duck, and we wanted to celebrate this duck. And we said, well, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna celebrate this? And we said, okay, we tie in the only bit of Beijing culture we know, which is the opening credits, opening theme song to 还珠格格. We're like, yeah, we got this, we totally got this. And we all take a collective breath and we're like, oh. Turns out that's the only line we know. We know nothing else. I've never seen my parents so joyful at a performance failure. Like, they were ecstatic. So I went home and I just thought, you know what? This failure shouldn't have happened. I can do something about this. So I decided I would learn the song. And keep in mind, this is 5 years before iTunes. This is like dial-up time frame. So you're not downloading anything. I don't even know what downloading means. So how do I learn this song? I plot myself in front of the TV and the VCR. I take the videotape, put it into the VCR, push play, nose in front of the TV, watching all of the lyrics. Pause, stop, rewind, play, pause, stop, rewind. My mom put it into this really fast after like 2 hours. She said that was unacceptable. So then I got my hands on a cassette recorder, got a blank cassette tape, put the microphone next to the TV speakers, jacked that volume up to max, hit record on the cassette tape, and then hit play on the VCR. Recorded the song, and I learned it. After a few thousand times, it just became a melody embedded in my head. I was so happy, and it was such a sense of accomplishment to have learned something that I started on my own. It wasn't something forced on me, it was something I chose to do, and I succeeded. Granted, there was no short-term benefits. This kind of skill does not make you friends in Texas. If y'all ever want to try, don't do it. Can't pick up guys at a bar either. Just FYI. But where it does come into play, though, where it is so helpful, is making friends in China. So fast forward 10 years, I'm in the middle of a forest that I'll never find again, because I literally have no idea how we got there in China. We are in China, just so we're clear. And it's the end of the evening, it's that magical blue hour, we're all hanging out, we've had a really great day together, just bonding over outdoor activities, and we're just, talking, laughing, dancing, a bit of horseplay, and it's fantastic. And the setting couldn't have been better. And then we heard it. This awkward silence that floats over a lonely musical accompaniment. And we look over, and we found a group of people staring at us. There was another group, another tour, at the hotel next door, and the tour guide was trying to give them an evening of outdoor karaoke. Nobody wanted to do it. It's like when you first ask for a volunteer, and nobody wants to be the first one. Everyone just looks down awkwardly, not wanting to make eye contact at all. And you can see the tour guide, he's struggling a little, he doesn't know what to do, and he finally comes over to the cool kids side, because we are legit cool. And he comes over to me, and he says, "You look like a lot of fun. Can you get this party started?" And I just look at him saying, "No, my Chinese isn't very good, I only know one Chinese song." And he says, "Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. Which song is it?" And I'm like, I don't know the title. I just know the beginning." And he's like, "Oh, so how does it go?" And I'm like, "Oh, whoa." And he's like, "Oh!" So he runs back to the karaoke machine, types in a few keys, and I hear the song start to play. I hear the opening instrumentals, and I'm like, oh man, here goes nothing. and it gels after that. It takes that first person to go in, do something crazy, do something weird, and it becomes this really amazing evening for both parties. There was a ton of singing, even more dancing, laughter, cheers, still some horseplay because, we never grow up. And all of it kind of just came together in that one random forest in some place in China that I'll never find again. And when I think back on it, I just remember how it all starts. I remember how it starts with the love of a grandmother, the approval of parents, the really, really terrible appropriation of Beijing duck and misappropriation of Beijing and duck and history. But also just some grit and some determination and just doing something that I really enjoy and brings me a lot of happiness.